Everyone is welcome here, it's time to make new friends. Everyone is welcome here, it's time to make new friends. Fill your Glencairn. Share a dram with the spirit of Edmonton.
Slancha! Good evening, whiskey brothers, whiskey sisters, whiskey friends, and welcome to episode 58 of the Canadian Whisky Journey's Whiskey Review. I'm Dolph. I'm the president of the Alberta Scotch Society. I'm the creator of the Canadian Whisky Journey and the Whiskey Book Club, and I'm your host tonight. That's what I'm doing. I'm here, and we're continuing our Canadian Whisky Journey with a distillery that I've never been to before. Now, Hansen Distillery, who's right here in Edmonton. And it's funny because they've been in my backyard for so long, and you put things off because you know they're always there. And then you know what? Eventually you go, and I did, and I'm so glad that I did. It's a great thing. A little bit of background: this distillery opens 2016 by the husband and wife team of Shayna Hansen and Chris Sustrick, and I say licensed for a reason. So it was licensed 2016. And it's a good story why it's licensed. So her grandfather, Carl, picks up his roots in the Badlands of the United States of America, goes north, heads up north, comes to Alberta, where he meets Shayna's grandmother, Amanda. Amanda, a good Alberta girl. They lay down a farm. They start work in the fields, but do they end there? No, they start and they continue to make some moonshine. And I like people with a little bit of rebel in them. That's what they do. And they pass their knowledge on to their son, Donald Carl Hansen, which is Shayna's father, who passes this on to Chris, who is Shayna's husband. So we've got three levels, three generations of moonshiners in there who finally decide to go legit. Now, together, they open up husband and wife team, Hansen Distillery, which you can go to here in Edmonton. So it's in West Edmonton, and I got some pictures in here too. A couple little pictures I could show you of the place, just a little bit. Well, I'd like to show you a couple pictures. There. That's that. There's the husband and wife team right there. And there's the barrel itself that this came in, which I'm going to talk to you in a second. Let's just get rid of that now. Let's get back to me. And the distillery itself. So go there, go for a tour. But when you walk in, go to the far left-hand corner and you see the old hardware that Grandpa and Dad, Donald, maybe Don, used to make their shine, which is kind of interesting in there. So you're sitting there, you have a drink, you have some cocktails. It's a great cocktail bar. It looks great. Enjoy yourself. Have a couple cocktails. Have someone drive you home. But look at the old equipment. Take your time in there with the equipment. It's really fun. So this right here, the Northern Harvest Rise whiskey, and this is the Distillers edition. And if you could see there, it's the second edition. So it's batch 2. The first edition was the French oak port cask, which was 100% rye. And I regrettably didn't have the pleasure to try that. But I kind of really wish I did. This one itself spends 22 months in French oak cask, and then another 41 months after that in the sherry cask. So it's let's do the math. It's got 63 months, so 5 years and 3 months old is what this is. It's and it's lovely. Now, I'm not sure what the grain bill is on this. The previous one, 100% rye, but this one, I looked everywhere online to try to get this. What I do know is that if it's a blend, it's a high rye blend. And, well, because you can tell. And maybe if they put 5% something in there just to get this going. And Sean, I agree. They are two nicest people. They're lovely. So thank you. And make sure, will you? Good man, Sean. I want to try that. And you know I love my rye. I want to see as much rye out there as possible. And this high rye, maybe it's 95%, maybe it's 97%, just a little bit of corn in there just for mouthfeel. I'm not sure. But it has a fantastic mouthfeel. It's got the rye, and it makes me happy. So let's talk about it. And you can tell, well, by the glass you can tell, but you look at the bottle. This is deep amber. It is a dark amber. It's got some color to it. And the nose, and what I was trying to do was pick up some of that French oak. And I couldn't. I'm stuck on the rye spice. It sits there. And which is great. And just a slightest bit of the dill note kind of at the end of it. Oh, Sean says it's also 100% Alberta rye for that as well. Thank you. I'm glad you know, because I reached out and I couldn't get in hold of them today. So I wanted to beforehand. So we're still sitting with, a little bit of dill, but it melds into the sherry notes I love. So it's fresh, definitely has the dark raisins, prunes, maybe a little bit of nut in there. Maybe not. Can't pick it out, I don't think. It smells great. So this is the nosy one. This is sipping whiskey. You get this, you're sipping it, you're not shooting it, you're not, well, you can mix it if you want, but it's lovely. All right. Palate.
Oh, so Sean knows.
Sean is the punch. Sean is there. Excellent. And you know what? It's all sherry up front. You think because on the nose, I'm getting rye first on the nose. And maybe just because I love rye and I'm looking for the rye right away. But this is sherry up front. And I do get nut, but I'm thinking it's pecan. Just because of sweetness on there. So I'm going to say pecan. Pecan sweetness and the dryness of pecan too. You know what this tastes like a little bit? Tastes like my grandmother's tumbler cake, which is just raisin rich, really dark bread. That's a great memory. So thank you very much for that. That's great. And floral. Cheers, whiskey neighbor. I'm glad you're here. You know, I'll hook you up, buddy. We're here. Well, you can buy your own. $89. Great deal, but I'll hook you up. We're good. Yeah, that's a great memory. Just sparks the memory, which a lot of good whiskeys do. You sit down, you contemplate, and all of a sudden, one little sip, and boom, you're somewhere else. And that's it. Grandmother's table having her tumbler cake. Floral, like the floral. Yeah, the florals I get on rye sometimes, and the white pepper of rye. It's there. Dill's gone. So after the palate, after the swish around, the dill kind of note that I thought I was getting at the beginning, that's not there anymore. And you know what? The finish is pretty long. I'm still getting it. Still finishing. All right, so I'll go through the finish. Yeah. All right, so this sipper, and my wife in the background says leather, and she goes that with all her sherry. So that's the first one. She goes that. Sorry. And it's the sweetness of the sherry cask. But it goes from sweet to spicy.
Like peppery, maybe?
Maybe peppery, but there's some other spice in there too. And back to fruity. Yeah, like a drying prune or a dried prune, like that kind of a heavy prune flavor there. Yeah, no, it's great. It's fantastic. I'm really enjoying this. So great job, guys. Way to go, Hansen. And if you haven't gotten one yet, you go to the distillery. They still have it. I was there a week and a half ago. You get a dram, you try it out. You're going to like it anyways. And they just came out with their 5-year-old. So they're Northern Eyes whiskey, but their 5-year-old just came out. So this one came out just before Christmas, and they still have it. And not a whole bunch of it though, but get it online, $89, same price in the distillery if you get it online. Well worth the $89. I'm really happy I did it. And thank you one and all. This has been Dolph. I've got this even under 10 minutes. I'm pretty proud of myself. Thank you all for coming here tonight. And let's see what this last comments are before we signed out. Oh, you want to hear my thoughts? I like the grandmother thing. They guess high rye bourbon. And you know what? I was with that, with the dill. That's why I was coming with that. But I do like my ryes, and you can tell right off. Thanks, everyone. Have a fantastic night. Cheers. Sláinte. Let's just see you again next Tuesday. Ciao, everybody.